Tonight, we start off in Abuja, where the federal government has charged 3 men, Abdurazak Umar, Yunus Musa, and Shamsu Adamusani, for the recent kidnap of children and teachers of a school in Orire local government area of Oyo State. The 10-count charge filed before the Federal High Court Abuja borders on terrorism, kidnapping, concealment, incitement, and illegal mining. The defendants, all of Suleja local government area of Niger State, are alleged to have conspired with one Muhammad Sani, Jibril Muhammad, and Ibrahim Kabab between January and May of 2026 to kidnap school children and teachers in Oyo State, contrary to Section 26, subsection 1 of the Terrorism Act 2022. They were alleged to have aided the kidnap of the school children and teachers and to have concealed information regarding the identities and activities of the alleged masterminds, despite knowledge of the plot. Offenses said to contravene Sections 26, subsection 2, and Section 16, subsection 1 of the Act, respectively. The charge sheet also alleged that the trio, on or about 2nd of June 2026, professed membership of Dar es Salaam, described as an affiliate of the Jamaat Ansar Muslima Fibilandi Sudan, a prescribed terrorist organization in Nigeria, contrary to Section 25, subsection 1 of the Act. The Supreme Court has restored the final forfeiture of 7 high-value properties linked to former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, overturning an earlier judgment of the Court of Appeal, which had ordered a retrial of the case. A 5-member panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice Ibrahim Saulawa, unanimously allowed the appeal and set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal, Lagos Division, which had nullified the forfeiture order made by the Federal High Court in Lagos. The Apex Court's decision effectively restores the final forfeiture of the assets, bringing to an end the legal challenge mounted by Mr. Emefiele against the Federal High Court's order. A Federal High Court in Abuja has closed the loop on Nigeria's largest asset recovery case. 6 months after an interim seizure order, Justice Joyce Abdul Malik has now ordered the permanent forfeiture of 48 properties valued at 212.9 billion naira tied to former Attorney General Abubakar Malami. The question is whether justice reaches the politically connected or stops short. Let's take a look. Here it is, happening today, 15th of July. The Empire forfeited from a 212.9 billion naira interim seizure. Now it's a permanent forfeiture order. Let's look at the figures. 48 properties have now been permanently forfeited, and that is coming out of an original 57. So some were actually left out. And we look at the value of the portfolio, 212.9 billion naira. That's the whopping sum. It was initially an interim valuation across some cities, Abuja, Kebbi, Kano, and Kaduna. And 9 properties of the 57 were released. Interim orders vacated, and these properties are mainly in Kebbi and in Kaduna. So 48 actually fully, permanently forfeited to the federal government. Now let's look at the geographic distribution of this forfeited empire. The largest chunk of the 212.19 billion naira is located in Kebbi State. That is the former AGF's home state, and that's 162.2 billion naira. That is massive. That is closely followed by Abuja. Now, Abuja is the Federal Capital Territory, the seat of power, the seat of the political epicenter of Nigeria. Properties located in that part are 34.7 billion naira. And then you move on to Kano State, which is equally a commercial hub in the country, where properties worth 16 billion naira. So the vast majority of suspected capital was channeled into massive infrastructure and educational developments within the home state of Kebbi, 162.2 billion naira. Now let's look at it. This is like a hometown monopolized by Rayhan entity. So this is the body managing those properties. Let's look at the crown jewel situated over there. The Rayhan University permanent site is worth a whopping 56 billion naira. And that is closely followed by the secondary campus of the Rayhan entity. That's the Rayhan University temporary site. And that costs 37, it's valued at 37.8 billion naira. Next to that, the third is here, the industrial complex. There you have factory machines, plants, and mosques. And these are totaling over 17 billion naira. And there is a fourth lower tier education, that the Rayhan Model Academy, valued at 11.2 billion naira. And you also have the primary and secondary schools valued at 8.75 billion naira. Those are all part of the arraigned entities. Now, these funds, these properties are not only stashed in, those educational facilities. You also look at hospitality, in the political and commercial capitals, the big cities across. Talk about Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. You have Midhak Hotel, Maitama, 15 rooms, post-rehabilitation. This is estimated at 12.95 billion naira. You also have Midhak Hotel. This is another part of Abuja in Jabi. This is 5-story, 53 rooms, valued at 8.4 billion naira. You have Harmonia Hotels and luxury duplexes valued at over 12 billion naira combined. You have in Kano, the commercial hub, you have Zeno Hotel and Old Hotel building valued at over 11.5 billion naira. And you also have the Rayhan Hotel, Kano and Gym, estimated at 3.4 billion naira. These are the massive infrastructure, the massive properties where these monies that are reportedly acquired through illegal means, where they were channeled into. Now, 6 months. Now, one ruling has put paid to those properties, from an ex parte interim seizure in January to a permanent order of forfeiture.